be now. We're going to start things off exactly the same way we've started the last few. Diana and Yasuo there for Qiao Gu as LGD banned 2 junglers once more on red side, Nidalee and Elise.
LGD banning the Elise though.
On red side only, apparently.
Well, they don't even really need to ban it if Swift's preferring Gragas over Elise, and then the Lulu's also going to be a first pick priority. So if they give them the first pick option of Elise and they go for the Lulu or vice versa, they'll still get a really strong first pick themselves.
I think QG have to ban Kalista here as well, which is awkward because they're sort of like, well, we're going to stick to our GODV bans. They kind of already know what we're doing here because I don't know if they want to take Kalista over Lulu, but it's so dangerous to give LGD Gaming either of those picks.
Very risky right now. LGD, 13 seconds to choose what they want to ban. Do they want to get rid of the Lulu?
I don't know. They do. I think they do as well. I'd like to see it just. If they're up and if it's 2 on up, by the way, I think they 100% ban it. They actually banned Vayne as the last pick there from LGD. So the QG just take it. Oh, Viktor's open. That's what the extra jungle ban added.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if he's better than Lulu in this series.
It is for Doinb.
Yeah.
Just straight up, it just is for Doinb on Viktor. You want to give him that champion. Most comfortable. Take it away from GODV as well, first and foremost.
GODV ignored it last time around, so.
It was banned.
It was banned? Yeah. Second game?
Sure, he would have played it if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think it was banned. Because he played Azir, but I'm sure he plays Viktor if that's open. I mean...
I think this is risky. I honestly think you take Lulu over it, even if you are Doinb. Right now, he's a great Viktor player, don't get me wrong, but you are 100% giving up Lulu Kog first 2 picks against LGD, and as much as Viktor excels at deleting a member of an enemy team.
A little harder when Lulu's on the team.
Yeah.
You can see Qiao Gu are taking their time with the pick, 5 seconds left, and they will lock in the Lulu.
I think the reason as well is that Doinb is the only Lulu player of the team.
Yep.
So they know it's going to be mid lane, whereas LGD can very easily flex pick that because it can go mid or top.
Yeah. Probably support as well. Not sure TCT want to dust it off, but yeah. Gragas taken away from Swift and Kog'Maw once again for him.
Well, yeah, LGD respect the Lulu Kog so much. They're happy to second rotate it. They're not going to give it up, so we'll see how it works out.
Oh, I like this. I mean, I like that they're even posturing. They do it.
They can.
Braum and Viktor, the next 2 picks.
Ryze is available. Acorn plays Ryze into Lulu really well.
He also plays Fiora.
I'm ready for the Fiora.
Into everything.
Ryze into Lulu is a really good lane matchup for the Ryze.
It is. It definitely is. Lulu's a very low impact, more wave clear centric laner, so Ryze can very easily scale, do well in laning phase in a direct 1 versus 1 anyway. And this adaptation though from Qiao Gu, super interesting. In terms of how they drafted, it made a lot of sense. You always expect them to pick mid, support, top in whatever order they think is priority. But it's just, yeah, like they did pick the Lulu to take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to. We've seen, again, what Lulu Kog's going to do. No one's banning Kog'Maw just yet, even though we have Kalista banned by Qiao Gu on the blue side. Like, there are so many considerations here, given how strong Imp is as a player.
Oh, wow, they went with it.
They know they have to mix it up. There's the Fiora again, and looks like Alistar for PYL once more.
He's listening.
GODV knows. He's like, don't worry, guys, I got this as well.
It
did. It won the game. This is happiness right now.
And a little bit of confusion from Spawn's face.
Well,
I mean,
no, the thing is, we thought it was strong. We legitimately had the conversation 40 minutes before the game. We thought it was strong.
Yeah.
There's a very big difference between, as a color caster, thinking something is strong and seeing it in back-to-back games of the LPL.
Well, we'll see if Acorn can do it again. I assume
Acorn
that's his
summon a spell.
Yeah, I saw them. He's got teleport exhaust because he's manly.
Wow.
I mean, it's not quite
So
Maokai, but I feel like you will get a decent amount of farm against Lulu. It could be tricky in the early stages.
Yeah, I guess it's the Maokai logic as well, as you can play a carry into a low impact style of laner. The difference is Lulu's ranged and has picks, so early damage is actually still very high.
Well, the thing about Lulu is that she's a lane bully with Ignite, because she actually has really telegraphed...
Oh my god.
Wow.
Rek'Sai Ashe are the last 2 picks. The Freljord bottom lane. It's getting real frosty.
So Lulu has really telegraphed damage. You know how much damage she's going to do per auto attack, things like that, so you can navigate the lane fairly easily. Wow, this is throw me from
This draft is great.
They've gone for the hard engage.
Yeah,
they had a
super
Lulu
hard
top
engage.
lane. Their jungler that they picked at the same rotation was Rek'Sai, is not guaranteed engage. Usually has to flash to make sure that that's secured. But if someone's hit by an enchanted crystal arrow, they're secured. So
yeah, especially when you look at the layered CC that's going to come in afterwards. You've got the Braum that's going to use the ulti straight away, as well as a gravity field after that. You think that that is a good 5 seconds of CC that will be able to pick someone like Acorn's Fiora, unless he's able to get a great riposte and send an arrow back.
Oh, we can really...
That would be amazing.
We can really see some plays here. But Kassadin has been the last pick. GODV will take it into the Viktor matchup, been relatively popular in the LPL.
GODV did this.
Yeah.
This is his matchup. He loves Kassadin so much. He was a man that popularized the Roa into Athene's Unholy Grail into Zhonya's Hourglass and just have all the mana in the world, Kassadin. And there is a couple of magic-dealing threats right now. The only person he really needs to worry about is TNT towards the late game.
And that's something that worries me here for Qiao Gu, because they've gone for an Ashe into a riposte, into a Kassadin, which is near impossible to connect with, a cleanse Kog'Maw, and an Alistar who has
I
the
love
ultimate.
that from him.
Yeah,
and he'll just build Mikhail's.
Yeah, he's going to catch it.
Yeah.
Flash into it.
Yeah, no, legitimately. PYL will catch a majority of arrows unless they're really on point out of TNT here. It's the Olaf theory, man. Just walk at the front.
By early elixir of iron, block it away.
Here than Fiora too, just quietly.
No.
Well, it is Fiora this time instead. Acorn's going to run it back this time against V's Lulu. So a bit of a surprise pick out there from the top laner.
Which one? V? We know Acorn plays Fiora.
And then Swift on the Rek'Sai up against the Gragas here from TVQ. They're going to swap roles around. Doinb, though, back on Viktor. A big champion for him, but a big one as well for GODV on Kassadin.
Yeah, so they pick the high damage mid laners, of course. Any wall is not safe now for LGD as we move towards our marksman.
That bottom lane, Ashe versus Kog'Maw, as Qiao Gu coming up with more creative answers to the Kog. But Braum is on TCT side. PWL is going to go back to Alistar.
And important to note that new Ashe is actually quite a lane bully. The Q does so much damage, and you're going to have to trade with the Braum one more time. So maybe this time QG can put a little bit more pressure out.
Stroke of genius, perhaps here from Qiao Gu.
I think it forces the lane swap, though, from LGD. So we'll see what they actually want to.
Well, we certainly will. So we're going to find out and getting ourselves into game number 3. And here we are as we move out into game number 3 of our grand final. Qiao Gu on the blue side here for the third one. LGD over on the red. We've split the first 2 games. That Fiora certainly had something to do with game number 2.
They're going to camp it out. So smart. Just has so much impact. Senpai members top.
Yep. And you can even tell they're trying to make sure that they get good advantage here into the brush. Good dash out from Acorn. Going to get himself out safely.
Yeah, luckily has the Q now is a different Fiora to the old one, so can dash to safety. The kill potential at level 1 from Qiao Gu is not that high. The Ashe, and like if it was a direct 5 versus 5 though, they would 100% win because their damage is just ridiculous. In saying that, LGD are just going to be very fanned out. They're going to split, they're just going to get knowledge. They only got knowledge of where they were though.
Correct. GODV eats a Q.
Got given the chair. Referee wasn't looking.
Nope, definitely
now we
wasn't.
can't recall either.
But I mean, we've seen neutral
starts.
starts.
Be a little bit late.
Does he get an extra potion though? Yeah.
He has to.
Extra potion now. There it is.
He's got it. I mean, lane can be a bit tricky. Doinb has gone for Ignite there as well, so a bit more kill potential. Swift might look a little more aggressive. It's not quite least in Elise, but can get things done early on the Rek'Sai.
As him pings out his Krogs, he's like, hey, PYL, where are you?
Well, he's waiting for the delivery service. Going to start them up here, and PYL going to help him out, which means we do have another lane swap here. Again, Qiao Gu on blue side. They'll take 2v0 right now into the bottom lane, and Imp's going to get more free time as Kog'Maw.
Yeah, I think it was fairly telegraphed again by actually having the champions that they do. The second Ashe was locked in, the second Imp went for cleanse. Yeah, they didn't want to be a part of that.
Certainly did not as TVQ hits level 2. Going to get a bit of help there from Acorn. You mentioned it in Game 2 Spawn, but Fiora's jungle follow actually pretty good.
Yeah, she just has really good attack speed out of the E, and because the cooldown lasts for a couple of auto attacks, you get to use it once every camp. So it's, don't get me wrong, it's not the best. I'm not going to say it's like Shyvana level where she flies you through the jungle on a magic carpet and then delivers you like level 4.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Certainly not here as Doinb back on his big signature pick here with the Viktor. He's seen a lot of games on it and a lot of success here as well. But LGD going through their jungle. Good hawk shot from all the way down the bottom lane is going to give them some nice vision. And now V's level 2 going to roam into the top side, try and get that farm out away from Kog'Maw.
I guess the big question mark now, though, is that they're actually not getting farm onto the Fiora. A champion that likes to build damage, likes to has items.
Yeah.
Lulu's always going to be relevant, has got wild growth, can shield people and still be useful.
And has a blue buff. Like, we pointed it out, Rek'Sai doesn't really need that as she jungles around, beg your pardon. But will definitely help out the Lulu pickup in the top lane.
Doinb's booking it. He knows that the gank's coming. Does see some good vision here as they might even line up a tower dive onto V.
Yeah, there's 2 wards though, so really nice early vision control, and you can see Swift making the call to come up.
TCT's here as well, so it's 2v4 right now. Could be 3v4 soon. The turret's going to help tip those scales, and looks like just a push now instead. Swift does spot them. It's going to force them away. And all the free time goes to this Ashe. Imp at least getting slightly disrupted here.
Yeah, I mean, Ashe is still getting that free time you mentioned. Lulu's actually very comfortable now that Braum made his way up. The second TCT hit too, they knew to respect that a lot more. Very difficult to dive a Lulu and a Braum, and Swift was making his way up very, very promptly.
And Acorn's going to come bottom lane. Level 2 versus level 4. Big struggle there up against the Ashe. TNT's done a nice job keeping that wave nice and close to his turret. Those hawk shots.
I like that Fiora teleported and then just did the scuttle crab as well. Didn't even do it, just watched.
The hawk shot, man. It knew. It had all the vision. TNT is onto something. We'll see how it pans out.
Like Acorn teleporting is just risky. It's just plain risky because you now know that you're up against a lane where there's pretty much no chance of you fighting successfully.
Oh, and the Braum's behind as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the ward though.
Nice little reset there from the E. Bit of harass out there into TCT. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet here. And again, in a lane swap situation, Qiao Gu looking nice here. Swift even starting to get a bit more aggressive, considering a tower dive here onto GODV.
Yeah, so the benefit right now is the fact that you've got a cleanse Kog'Maw. Free laning phase, like not being disrupted.
Oh, they're going in. Swift looking for the knockup. GODV's going to flush himself out. Swift will follow. Gets the unborrowed. Damage is good, and first blood goes to Rek'Sai.
That was just very smart decision making here from this Qiao Gu side. They're seemingly excelling in these lane swap environments that they're being placed into here. Doinb actually doing very well in this mid lane 1 versus 1. There is an ignite for the Kassadin as well, so doesn't have any defensive summoners to get out, but the dive was just so seamlessly executed by Qiao Gu. They look really good.
And that's Swift for me when I've seen him play, especially early on in the season. The aggression and how intelligently he ganked people was really a trademark of his play. It's nice to see that come out here in Game 3.
Definitely. And speaking of...
Yeah, going back in. Acorn now in trouble. Dashes out to safety. No, not safe enough. Going to get stunned up here as well. Good riposte. I think just dodged the stun.
That was really cool, though.
That was cool.
Not only did he predict the Braum stun and use the riposte, Qiao Gu actually stopped autoing him, so nothing happened from it. But it was double mind games, and nothing came from that.
Well, Acorn actually going to get himself to safety and see a bit of fun here as TBQ and PYL.
It's not going to hit the turret. They can shove someone under if they go right now.
Going back in again. No. LGD have to come in now. Good hawk shot, does spot out the Gragas, but gets a ward down, has to back off. Acorn's going to get himself some farm. Probably more importantly, finally catch up in experience.
TNT has the arrow ready to go. This is dangerous territory for LGD right now. But Swift has already made his way out of this area. And they're just going to try and actually get experience and farm onto Acorn, honestly, because he's the one who really needs some.
As I said, Qmax Ashe, if that is what TNT is going for. No, he's going W.
Wave clear. Harass. I don't know, it all does the same thing, really. It's just a matter of preference when it comes down to what you max.
The under the turret harassment of Q, however, is just so good.
Ooh, Swift here again. Doinb puts down the ulti, gets the stun there as well. Knockup's good. GODV's going to get taken out again.
That was a silver platter right there from Doinb. Actually gets the stun to connect, puts down the ultimate. Swift can just meander his way in. Just get the knockup, and there's a second kill for him.
What's GODV going to do? He'd already used his flash. He used his ult to get aggressive.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a questionable decision to riff walk onto the...
Ooh, Acorn. Trouble? Not quite. Going to dodge out the stun there, but TNT having a good lane for the first time, I think. Keeping up with Imp on CS, who's actually not having the best time. V is running away with the top lane matchup comparatively.
Yeah, if you compare the top laners, of course, doing so well in this lane, not ahead in compared to his lane opponent, which is Imp at the moment, but the Fiora has done nothing, is really struggling to get a single thing done. And this is Ashe being that big lane bully.
Ooh, good hook shot again. I think TCT might have smelled what was happening, was trying to line up the dive, but he'll just keep doing damage to the tower. Acorn will do what he can, but Swift's going to come back in. He's hit level 6, he's got his Cinder Hulk. Early power certainly in Qiao Gu's court here.
It looks like the Dragon and Blue buff are going to be the next plans of attack here from Qiao Gu. They want to make Kassadin's life miserable. Not only have they banned him out, they're now focusing him. And Doinb's got that Viktor, so...
And as we said, there's ways to make LGD fight you outside of laning phase. Invading blue buff, especially against Kassadin, is one of those ways. GODV's response to hard shove mid lane and get a free chop in for himself. But he's level 6 to level 8.
And it's just this aggression again. Swift unlocked. Able to do a bit more around the early game. Qiao Gu taking the standard lane, actually taking the lane swap.
Arrow
making
mid.
it work. Oh, going in! GODV! Barely gets out from under it.
That was so close.
That was very close.
The smallest amount keeps GODV alive, saving the ultimate thankfully, but still having no flash available, so if that were to connect, he was a very dead Kassadin.
Doinb had everything. He was ready.
Oh, he was so ready.
This TVQ with PYL looking for a gank now into the mid lane. Going to go aggressive. Doinb in trouble. Puts down the gravity field. TVQ flashes in. But a sick flash from Doinb gets into safety.
And that is one of the hardest things to dodge. When it comes to a Gragas engage, the flash body slam, it's entirely prediction and no reaction.
And the scary thing about it is if you go early, Gragas just doesn't flash because he flashes the end of his movement. So you have to know exactly when he's going to pull the trigger. Otherwise, it just doesn't come out. And we have a bit of a lane swap back.
Yep. People going to move back now. Do you see Imp into the bottom side? He's got his items out, though. And TNT going for a bit of that early investment build.
Yeah, so that's why they swap back. As soon as you go Avarice Blade, you cede any control you have over a laning phase. Right now, even with Cleanse, Imp's stronger because he went 2 combat effective items and you're against, like, what, Banker?
Yeah, completely, unless you get a miracle crit.
Yeah, Accountant's not very good fighters.
Yeah.
Pastry time, so, you know, TNT going to struggle.
He's not that long-term loan at the moment. Looking to scale up in terms of his damage, but as you mentioned, the relative trading's pretty damn average. So the fact that it is average, it's interesting that Imp and PYL are respecting them in terms of their laning phase right now.
Still pushed up, and Swift's had a great early game. So don't want to go too aggressive.
No, got to respect the Rek'Sai, that's for sure. But check in with Acorn. He's going to be very happy for the swap back. Forget about Imp having a fine time in the lane. Acorn finally getting some CS here. He's still behind V, but he's going to start playing catch-up. He's already closed the gap pretty significantly.
He definitely has. They know Swift's here, by the way. They pinged him multiple times. So the pathing that TBQ is taking immediately is not to go into his own jungle. He doesn't want to fight, but he knows that there's fighting.
They've gone in on the bottom lane.
Yeah, TNT's in trouble there as well. TCT is going to try and save him. Teleport coming down as well. That's going to be V joining in, but the portents are here for Acorn. V's in already. He's actually now caught out of position. Forced to use the wild growth. There's TNT. Gets taken out by Acorn. The ulti's back there from TBQ. Acorn scoops up the double, and Qiao Gu have no answer.
That's dangerous territory to be in now for Qiao Gu. 2 kills on Acorn, who was behind his lane opponent of V. Now well and truly ahead. Not only that, they're getting so much more from it than just the fight, unless Doinb can be a hero.
I just cannot believe that TNT went Avarice Blade. That has completely blown my mind. You back on...
He's trying to steal it. He's not going to get it. Doinb is, though. Swift going to get knocked back. He'll flash his way out. And Qiao Gu steal Dragon #1.
So they grab the Dragon. That's fantastic news. So great job from Doinb and Swift there to be able to pick that up. But the fact that you go Avarice Blade when you have 1,500 gold is just, that's completely blown my mind.
You're set on that fact. I agree completely, and that's a big factor as to why this laning phase has suddenly turned back in the Kog'Maw's hands, even though he has a cleanse and shouldn't be winning the lane. But TNT and the rest of Qiao Gu should have responded to the fact that he's gone for the Avarice Blade and not gone for the 2 versus 2 immediately after.
Defensively warded out. You could see that the ultimate was used. Have to see whether it's aggressive or not, because the cleanse was definitely blown by Imp, so that hit him. But there just wasn't the follow-up damage needed. And what's real, the other itemization that's perplexed me right now is the fact that GODV doesn't have any mana item. He's got cooldown reduction boots.
And an amp tome.
And an amp tome. So my thinking is maybe Sheen as his mana item. And get the W max in there second. Make sure that he's using the Lich Bane to reset his build. I have no idea.
No, he's going to max the Q and then follow it with the E because he's already maxing Q. So this is the Viktor matchup. You have to max Q or you will lose the lane because he's a burst mage. The question you're raising, the Sheen's good. I think he'll leave it at Sheen potentially.
Yeah.
And then just go for some raw damage. Or he'll go all into the Athene's build and go super defensive from here. But from the looks of it, having the boots of lucidity, may just go Morello's. May just man up.
I mean, we've seen that, I think, from
It has been done, yeah.
It's like the kind of the snowball choice where you're like, you know what, I'm going to get my item eventually, let's take the cheap one, and then just try and find fights here, especially if he times it with his level 11. This work they can do here. But Qiao Gu right now, all over the rest of the Rift. That swap happened, and they're straight back to the blue buff.
Yeah, Qiao Gu, they're playing the bully right now, trying to make things happen. They've got the Ashe to be proactive with it, so very easy for them to work proactively. And the fact that Doinb is in such control of this middle lane, he has no mana items, GODV. We mentioned this, and well, he's stuck under his turret. Swift's not letting him stay under his turret. He's in base.
Thought there was an arrow. That was a hawk shot, though. Again, TNT getting that vision down. GODV's going to stay here, but that's going to be the tower going down. The first turret of the game is almost a solo mid lane effort by Doinb.
Stretching to call that lane a one-on-one, but that's been a whole team effort out of QG. Denial of 2 blue buffs, a couple of early ganks. There was a turret dive from a level 4 Rek'Sai in there as well. So a couple of target bans and a good overall strategy means QG definitely get the advantage.
Did the hard work. He did the lifting.
Doinb and friends managed to get the turret in that middle lane. But he's found himself with a big CS advantage. And
he's 2 levels up as well as Fee in the top lane. Going to get aggressed on by Acorn. GODV's going to die as Doinb takes him out with his ultimate.
That's a one-on-one. Give you that one.
Thanks.
That was also a flash used by GODV on this Kassadin. He is having a nightmare of a game. And the fact that Doinb is doing this, this is why Qiao Gu are contesting every single blue buff. They're going off as a team now. Because when Doinb is unlocked, Swift is ultra unlocked. He's a super mega unlocked man that just destroys the map.
Yeah, the danger though is that Imp has Trinity Force boots versus...
And what does Ashe have?
Yeah, an Avarice Blade. An Avarice Blade, mate.
And 2 AD items. He's got a dagger in there.
Yeah, but it's a Trinity Force. That's the big problem here. Is that
also looking for Krugs that Swift just took, so...
You know what's good, though? The fact that he did max the W is a lot more about wave control. He's doing his best Sivir impersonation.
Just shove it out.
So you just have longer range. Doesn't feel as bad.
And an arrow instead of on the hunt. So, like, it's effective, it works, but you're now into a lane that you're sacrificing. You're, like, looking to lose your own lane to scale against a Kog'Maw.
Yeah, top lane. Also, bit of help there in the top has mean Acorn got himself 2 kills despite being a bit down in CS. He's going to take the tower there as well. That means the gold lead's going to sit just 1k up there for Qiao Gu. But Dragon up again in 140. QG stole the last one. But LGD hitting some good timings in the top and bottom lanes with the Fiora and the Kog'Maw.
Wow, GODV actually just sucks it up. He's going to have a 20-minute, if that. If he's really lucky and gets a team fight, he'll have a 20-minute roller. If not, it's going to be one of the later rollers.
You know what that says, though, is that the amp turn was just immediate power.
Yeah.
He just needed items. The second he went back to base, and, I mean, Doinb was getting items, but well, I need something to get me through this. And didn't get him through it, but it was the idea there.
Imagine how much worse it would have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't think GODV wants to think about that now. It's still struggling in the 2-level deficit. But the tower does fall in bottom lane. LGD even that gold back up, taking the tower lead 2-1. That's all.
And Imp's on the clock, man. 172 CS at 17 minutes. We were complimenting TNT's early game. He's 40 CS down again.
Just keeps happening.
Yeah, just built.
Need to swap back, maybe. Apparently, standard lanes do not work out.
I said it earlier. Imp is a lifestyle choice.
He's a full commitment.
It doesn't matter how he does it. It's just by default 30 CS ahead every single time.
And now he's rotated into Doinb's lane. Maybe the one window they have, because he hasn't got a blue buff. But he has a Thien, so yeah, no, you're not sieging down that turret.
Doinb's just holding the wave.
In fact, he's like freezing on him. That's gross. He's in a lane where he's down in terms of members against him, but he's confident enough to try and freeze it so that it stays just outside of the turret range.
Oh wow, does it again. They get their last hit. Finally drags it in as TCT comes to help. But they'll take this out. They'll prep for the Dragon because it's back up right now.
We were talking about CS leads.
60.
Yeah, we mentioned how the AD carries have got a CS lead for Imp. That's a big CS lead in that middle lane, and that's honestly going to be like a 25 to 30 minute rod of ages at this stage. And he can't buy the prerequisite items. He has to buy the whole thing.
Qiao Gu going to move into LGD's red side jungle. Try and take some stuff out. TNT's almost there in the Infinity Edge. Couldn't quite get there, even with the Avarice Blade investment, but they will go onto this Dragon. They stole the first one, but they're going to easily take away the second one here. Doinb is just too threatening, and PYL pokes his head in, but doesn't go any further than that. Dragon number 2 will go to QG.
And this is the trade-off, right? Is that we question when LGD actually feel like they can fight because GODV is so far behind. He's now going to split push. They'll work around Imp actually having the big item strength.
3 members bottom. This is mean. The continued pressure on GODV right now. Looks like they will give up mid lane turret.
GODV, you better Rift walk away. Doinb very aggressive there. Going to get the tower
going to get dove.
Well. Oop, that's bad news. TNT.
Actually backs away there, PYL.
Still the blue buff though. Acorn will get it. Takes away that CDR. Takes the pink ward out as well.
Backs off till further notice.
And Swift's going to take the other one. Imp's going to take this first tower here. That's why TNT was safe between 2 turrets, as they get the bottom side as well. And now actually the ulti out from Rek'Sai. They're going to defend this tower successfully.
Yeah, the fact they get to defend that tower is Swift actually being a Rek'Sai, using that ultimate and getting there in time. The damage isn't going to be there from just Imp, but this is LGD trying to play around the map to their strengths, utilizing the Kog'Maw who has items, and trying to hide GODV, which is like the old school TBQ strategy, hide TBQ and get the rest of the map going. So they can very easily implement that, but Qiao Gu's response has been, go wherever GODV goes, and just make his life so very miserable that he's never going to get his Rod of Ages and feel happy about life.
Yeah, so the danger with the strategy is that means Imp has to overextend if he wants to trade and punish that, which he doesn't want to do right now because he recognizes that he's the threat. But then Doinb, you saw, he had the same moment where he was like, hang on a second, I'm in a tier 2 turret and there's not many other people here. So they will allow Doinb to freeze for now. It's what, GODV to freeze for now. It's what QG can get everywhere else. Can they siege up this top lane?
Well, coming in for the top lane now. Acorn, I think, realizes there's a few too many people around. TNT does not pull the trigger on the arrow just yet.
Don't want to. The riposte.
That was actually supremely unlucky right there. Acorn was about to come out and put some hurt down onto V, but Braum revealed himself to place down a ward at the same second. So that was unfortunate, but the numbers advantage in that top lane does start to snowball some objectives.
And like Spawn was saying, what can they get as far as trades go? GODV's sticking in the bottom lane. You know he's not pushing it anytime soon. Now starts shoving it back in. And they just go top, take a tower. QG, at least for now, are going to have control of this map. And that's been a rare thing in this series so far.
But what that means is because GODV's frozen the lane out, he's actually picked up every CS he possibly can. So now, we're looking at a 60 CS discrepancy in 2 different roles. This literally becomes Doinb versus Imp for the rest of the game. V and Acorn, they're going to do their weird, like, repelling of split pushing with Lulu, which is super effective as the game wears on, especially if she gets 40% CDR. And Acorn's not in any hurry to leave his lane because he recognizes that Doinb just kills him when he looks at him right now. So we'll have to see whether Imp is able to keep up with Doinb and lay down their herd as this Kog'Maw.
Well, he's almost at 2 items now, but TNT catching up, moving in towards that static shift. QG looking to get aggressive on the top left-hand side of the map because Dragon is down.
Can they force Baron early? With the Ashe, at least if they secure vision control, they can maybe get some picks going with the arrow.
The key factor between these two teams, you said it's going to be Doinb taking on Imp, but TNT's got utility behind him. He's got that arrow to engage. He's still going to be useful. The question is, can GODV be useful at all? Or is he just going to be sitting duck and duck?
He's got the Rod of Ages. It's super late, though. I assume he just got it about 22 minutes in, but that is well behind your average timer.
Yeah, lots of time's going to be spent scaling from GODV. I would wager a lot of that is going to be spent split pushing as well. Acorn can very easily 1v1 anyone at the moment, and he's building more so for the Lulu.
Hex Drinker. Like, it's just such a good item against Doinb and Lulu. Burst Mage's Hex Drinker is really cost efficient at this stage of the game.
But then, if GODV is going to split push, he's going to be facing off against potentially Swift. And Swift can take him at the moment. No worries.
Yeah, that's not even close.
That's a Spirit Visage.
Swift's on 100 CS. He's doing a really good job of farming up those jungle camps. TBQ actually also farming really well.
Hop out of the Baron pick because he doesn't want to get killed. And again, very quiet between Dragon Spawns. This seems to be the trademark of the Qiao Gu games where it's a little more even. They're actually ahead by a few thousand gold too, to be a bit more precise. But they're still waiting on the Dragons. Again, what's the same story as game one? Get ahead, get control of some of the objectives, bait out the Baron, go safely to the Dragon, just play patient.
I think this comes down to Viktor's next Palace. So I think they're waiting, they're biding their time. If they make a pick, then that is perfect for their playstyle. But if they get one more item completed onto Doinb, he's not far off, then they can just kill anyone they would like.
We've also got Rod of Ages charging for V. He's about a minute or two away. He's got Morel and Nomicon now as well as Acorn. He's going to dive in, but he gets stunned up by the gravity field. Chaos Storm is down. Damage is there. Huge Braum ulti as V's coming in as well. PYL's looking to be the first target, but Imp takes out TCT. They're still going to go. The double knock up there from Swift. Polymorph down. Imp's going to cleanse out, but it's a double up already. Imp's going to get sniped by Lulu, and Qiao Gu win the team fight.
Acorn went super deep off the back of that, wanted to proc the ultimate, wasn't able to get it done. They're streaming towards Baron because Swift can just ultimate his way back in. Not looking good.
No, Acorn looking a little sheepish. QG will start it. The ultimate's down. That's an awful lot of bodies in the mid lane. That was what LGD ran into. And again, another team fight around the Baron, and Qiao Gu launch ahead in this game.
LGD's version of a trade right now is going to be a blue buff, but this was on the back of Acorn with that over-aggression. He goes on to Doinb and attempts to negate the damage, but the damage was well and truly placed down afterwards. TNT even saving that arrow to hit members after they were on the retreat. So they don't even get the dragon for their troubles here.
So, to Acorn's credit, he takes every bit of damage they have and lives. But from there, it's just the fact that Imp gets polymorphed right here. It stops his damage for so long. And it means that the rest of the team just cannot keep up. GODV isn't strong enough. Double lasers. The Doodle lands and the laser from Viktor coming through the death ray. They're going to grab Dragon number 3.
Same thing. Qiao Gu, get the 5-man team fight, get the win. They'll take Dragon 3. They've already got Baron. And that gold lead's left up for them here. They're up 4,000, 4,500 gold ahead, but Doinb is on a rampage. Perfect hex core, Zhonya's cooldown boot, and the Fiends all done at 26 minutes in. And he's almost level 16. This man is horrifying.
And they lose another 2 turrets. Wow.
It's blue side strength, man.
Yeah, every time their first pick Lulu on blue side just seems to make it's funny because the teams play the pick very differently. But it just seems to work out.
Yeah, the adaptation between the teams, the fact that they can make it work in different styles is him showing that he is not afraid of anything.
Again, ADC has ahead. He's trying to make it happen, but the front line is there this time. Lulu's going to make anybody tanky, and Doinb's damage is ridiculous.
And this is always going to come back to the front line of Qiao Gu, is that if Imp can't kill them, then generally Qiao Gu's having a fantastic time in these team fights where they excel at so very well. And right now, they're just looking to try and siege down bottom. They've got the sustain. Things are still working for them.
Yeah, they have to abandon it. One thing we always credit LGD for is their side wave control. Look at top lane right now. They were able to set that up with 3 members. They gave up 2 turrets to be able to do so, preserve the base by setting up a really nice push in the top lane.
QG do have some Baron buff left though, so there'll be maybe a time to still poke in and try and break the base. But Doinb, he'll take the blue buff. Qiao Gu going to go back, spend some money, reset, and they'll look for their next point of attack here because they know they have a lead here. They just have to snowball it a little bit further, break that base open, and really get themselves into a commanding position.
Yeah, that's the next step, is break the base. And that's where you can actually work around a broken base and start forcing LGD into positions they don't want to be. Very difficult to control side waves when there is one of the lanes missing part of your base. You can see the focus now is the free objectives.
And now the problem is they're splitting farm between GODV and Imp, and Imp really wants that last Whisper. GODV's like, if you do not give me farm, I'm useless.
And there's a 6th tower falling down as well. So in and amongst all the squabbling, LGD going to lose their outers and all of their tier 2s. And now Qiao Gu with a bit of Baron left. Going to try and take out this tower.
But still, the side waves from LGD, they're nowhere near a point of contention here for both of these teams. So Qiao Gu are committed to the top lane. And if they can't actually get something going in this top lane, then they're wasting a lot of time.
I wonder if they'll dive. Doinb certainly, if he sees a kill, he will go in for it. The poke is not bad. TNT doing a nice job there as well.
Problem is no flash on TNT, meaning he can't walk up and hit the turret.
Or Doinb, or V, or Swift. Very risky for them to consider diving, especially against this team of LGD. Having an Alistar, Gragas.
Yeah, risky hitting the turret. Like, PYL has his flash available. He can just flash on a carry right now. So you can see they're actually going when the wave isn't there and PYL backs off.
Smart stuff there from Qiao Gu, but it's slow going here for these turrets. Baron dropped off pretty much as soon as they got here after breaking the tier 2. And the side waves again, not looking in their favor. QG are committed though. They know they have to break here. The longer LGD a group like this, given the lead they have, it's likely better for Qiao Gu.
I mean, the fact that they can poke away at it, it will go down eventually if LGD don't pull the trigger. And PYL is not tanky unless he uses that ultimate. So he's getting fairly low and needs to constantly go back to the base. And that gives them windows to actually poke down that turret.
Imp though getting his own poke back in. Does give LGD a window.
Imp walks out of the base.
He'll force them off. I'm telling you, man, Imp had 3 great games already, still massively ahead in CS. If there's anyone you can rely on to not be afraid, win, lose, or draw, Imp is there on the front lines.
It's officially 100 CS, however. 110 between Doinb and GODV.
A bit of gold. That's a lot of gold, actually. I'll take that back. That's ridiculous. GODV is a non-factor at the moment and is really struggling to get back into this game because
5,000 gold. Wow.
God.
Yeah, the farm that he's getting is contested with Imp at the moment. Imp's trying his best to carry, but if GODV is non-existent in this game, then it is entirely Imp's job to carry.
Swift is really far ahead of TBQ as well. About 2,000 gold up, and TNT's as close as been to even with Imp, I feel like most of the series. I mean, he got gifted kills in the Vayne game. He's done a decent job trying to keep up in CS and getting global gold. Again, it's a strong game here for QG, but they're chilling. They know they've got 5 dragons on the way. Dragon 4 is going to be up in a minute 10. No need to rush here against LGD.
So one thing that they got just then for LGD is the last Whisper on him. So all of a sudden, Swift isn't as imposing as he otherwise was in that turret siege. So maybe Imp positions like an absolute genius and wins this team fight, but who else can actually take it? They need to, you feel that if they get an assassination on TNT or Doinb, and then use the Fiora ultimate to reset a fight really well, they might have the setup to be able to sit there and wail on the carries. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a good news story. And the danger is that Doinb looks at someone, they die. So
now they have got that last Whisper, their damage is well and truly there. And the adaptation out of Acorn now is a Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
So he's going to try and be that front line.
He's suiciding for it.
Yeah. He's now going to be Suicide Fiora, trying to actually kill people whilst not dying for as long as possible. And if he can get that ultimate down, then yeah, LGD well and truly can take a fight. It's just going to be really difficult to do so. But if you look at who they're against, low mobility champion like Ashe is mostly about using slows to kite and keeping at max range.
Yep.
And Viktor, who has a speed boost on his Q, has the flash now because they all have their flashes available again. But other than that, I mean, they're entirely killable.
A huge purchase for V. He went back and got a Rabadon's Death Cap as his next item, and he's got his port as he whimsies his way down the mid lane. LGD know the Dragon's up. They're going to take a bit of the power play here, 5v4. They're not going to get too much out of this one. Not even going to get the tower. Imp actually forced to cleanse out, but Swift going to dive his way in. I think he got polyed. Acorn gets the kill there. Ultimate's going to knock them away. PYL though is going to go down, and now it's 4v4. Damage is there. Doinb's disgusting right now, and he's going to flash forward. He wants Imp. He's going to go in for Acorn again. V flashes forward. Acorn's going to try and get out, but he gets stunned away. Viktor's going to grab the double, and that's a 4-1 win for Qiao Gu.
Viktor is trigger happy with his zoners, but all things considered, Qiao Gu just convincingly win that fight. We mentioned the Fiora passive that went off, but it was so far out of the way that there wasn't actually a way for it to be utilized in an offensive manner to reset the fight.
Yeah, they shouldn't have re-engaged. They should have taken the 1-for-1, backed away, fought another day. Instead, they commit afterwards. Definitely agreed that it wasn't the opportune area for it. You know, TBQ was dead anyway. Instead, they overcommit afterwards. They're going to lose Baron, and they lost their inhib.
Yeah, still 10 seconds left on Imp and Acorn. Acorn does have his teleport. Could potentially risky Baron, but GG are pretty healthy. Can give up the dragon if they absolutely have to, but they are going to try and take Baron. And GODV, who's still looking to build up items, does have a Zhonya's, but this Baron's dying way too fast.
Yeah, it's gone.
GODV's like a wet noodle.
He's a bit. Oh, Doinb. So much damage. GODV Rift walks away. QG are going to try and get a kill, or just a dragon, or possibly both. GODV has to keep running. Swift is not stopping. He's going to keep chasing in with the Rek'Sai. Good slow.
There's a point where you do have to stop. It's when you want to go towards the dragon and actually take the objective. But they get a free Baron for their troubles on the back of a one-team fight that was just entirely destroying people that are the tanks, or meant to be the tanks of LGD. They just go down too quickly. They know the GODV is not going to be doing as much damage as Doinb, so if they take out the front lines, the rest of the fight is a piece of cake.
Yep.
From there, Baron, Dragon, Qiao Gu, they've moved from strength to strength. Once it hits about the 30-minute mark, they look unbeatable.
Certainly do. And let's just take stock of how far ahead this team are. 12,000 gold up. Doinb is full build. 7-2 in turret, 4 dragons, and now a Baron buff as well.
Yeah, Doinb is full build. GODV's half build. And he's got twice as much gold.
Yeah, he was 5k ahead last week check, so that's really, really gross to consider full build, 34 minutes opposed to nothing at all. And he's even on time with the clock in terms of farm.
Ooh, Acorn trying to do some damage. TNT's like, hey, get off my jungler. You can see again, got the tanky front lines. Even Braum's relatively massive here.
That's good though from TCT, sitting on the flank, preventing them from looking at defending the turret because he's got the threat of his own ultimate there. Second inhibitor is just too easy for them, really.
LGD just can't fight right now. I don't know what's left in this game. They can try and find the miracle fight. Imp does decent damage, but Doinb has taken over this game. You can kind of see where they might have targeted GODV in some of these ban phases. Maybe that's where they think they can really stick it to LGD as PYL. He gets arrowed, forced to ulti out. Swift dives in to try and get the kill, but QG are going to go top lane.
This is the zoning factor again, though, is this third inhibitor is not long for this world because LGD just cannot fight. If Doinb sees you, if he looks at you, you're done.
And they're going to fight. Imp's got caught. They take him out instantly. As the first kill goes over to Doinb, they'll lock one up. TBQ gets stunned as GODV pops his Zhonya's. He's going to try and make something work out of it all, but the GA's been popped. Acorn's going to look to go down here. They'll chase him away. They've gotten 4 kills already, and that's going to be game. QG run over LGD, winning game number 3.
Slow and steady wins the race here for Qiao Gu. They actually don't lose their laning phase. They have a lane swap put into effect, and it just feels infinitely better for them. They almost feel more refined in lane swap.
That game was all Swift. The turret dive, the controlling of the blue buff, repetitively dragging people out of lane. LGD just let it happen. You know, they had the Kassadin and they didn't want to challenge for anything like that. All of a sudden, because there's this big looming threat of we have to respond to a 5v, like a 5-man move into our jungle, just means that they're not able to get it going. You can see GODV, after that performance, he has to look for some answers because he likes the matchup. We've talked about it a lot. This seems to be the counter pick, maybe a pseudo counter pick now because it didn't work out. But if he's not able to run Kassadin into Viktor, you think that they have to get rid of the Viktor.
And you think the Rek'Sai is bad. Should see what happens when he plays in Italy.
Yeah, or Elise apparently.
Yeah, exactly though. Like he has the early pressure there now is the important factor to take from that. He's not playing counter gank, he was playing offensively in your face. Take your jungle. And it was a 1v1 in the mid lane that GODV likes, but it wasn't a 1v1 at all because not only does GODV have to leave the lane to help his jungler, he can't because their jungler is killing him.
And once again, that's with the bottom lane really being controlled by Imp. Like, Imp was in complete control of that game, but his mid laner just fell way too far behind. And as you said, there's always going to be the utility and the sieging pressure out of an Ashe.
Yeah.
Just like if you're a Viktor and you fall behind, you always have wave clear. You can always just spam out that ability. As you see some Swift signs there, definitely well deserved right now. But GODV, when he fell behind, he had nothing.
It didn't. It's a good time for a Swift sign, though, that's for sure, as QG go up to match point now in the series. 2-1 in 3 games up over LGD. Didn't expect them to win game 1, let alone game 3 after dropping the second. LGD, again, coming into the favorites. Not heavy favorites, you have to think, but certainly favorites given their recent form. Qiao Gu trying to show them that, hey, not only is the record against you quite good, we're looking to improve it, but a win against IG was not a fluke.
I think LGD, the side that are already going to Worlds, they're a side that's looking really strong, but Qiao Gu, the rookies, they've actually given it to them in this best-of-5 series to even be a game up. There's a lot of very obvious things that we can talk about, such as the Lulu being there, the blue side first pick, but they're executing it to a world-class level.
And, you know, as V's Lulu was fine, but he wasn't exactly winning the lane against Acorn. Yep. Acorn teleported early, got a double kill even, was going back into the top lane to kill him before 2 pesky people showed up in the lane. That game was all about the control they exerted over the map, and we talk about their team fight, and we talk about the fact that they're able to group very well, play around objectives, but early control in like expeditions into the jungle, pushing into mid laners, is not something that we normally credit to QG, and that's exactly how they won the first 15 minutes.
As almost always, it's on the back of Doinb and Swift, so let's hear a little bit more from that game as we go out this time.